Before the Spanish arrived, our islands already had a rich culture and trade. How did our ancestors pay for things back then? The answer? Barter. It was a system of exchanging goods. If you had rice and needed fish, you'd find a fisherman who needed rice. Simple, right? But what if the person with fish didn't need rice? This is where the need for something with a fixed value came in, something everyone would accept. This is how products like rice, salt, and shells, known as commodity money, started being used as currency. But there was one thing that was valued even more back then: gold. Our archipelago was rich in gold, which is why our ancestors used it for trade. One of its most famous forms was the piloncitos. These were small gold pieces like corn kernels, which is why the Spanish called them piloncitos from the word pilon, a type of sugar container. Each piloncito weighed about 2.65 grams and had the letter Ma engraved on it, believed to represent Ma'i, the ancient name for the Philippines. These tiny gold pieces are considered the first coins of the Philippines. Aside from piloncitos, there were also barter rings or gold rings used in trade. These weren't worn on fingers but served as a form of payment. These rings varied in size and thickness depending on their value. Imagine our ancestors traveled across the seas to trade with neighboring countries like China and Siam using this gold. This proves that even before we were colonized, we already had our own economic and trade system centered on the wealth of our natural resources. These gold pieces were not just ornaments, they were symbols of prosperity and a thriving civilization. Piloncitos and barter rings were not just simple pieces of metal. They were witnesses to a time of vibrant trade and connections between different cultures. This shows that the concept of money and value has long been a part of our Filipino identity, even if in a form different from the round coins we know today. These are tangible evidence of a rich past, a heritage that says our history is as valuable as gold. Each piece carries a story of our ancestors and their lives before everything changed. When the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, life and trade in the Philippines changed. They introduced their own monetary system. Coins brought from Spain and its colonies in America, like Mexico and Peru, began to circulate in our markets. The most famous of these was the silver real, which later became the peso. These early coins were called cobs because of their rough and imperfect shape. They were made by cutting a piece from a long silver bar and hammering it to imprint the king's seal. Because of the many different coins from various countries circulating in the Philippines, confusion arose. How would you know which was genuine and had the correct value? To solve this, the Spanish government ordered the application of a counterstamp or additional mark on foreign coins. These coins, mostly from Mexico, were marked with the crown of King Ferdinand VII or Queen Isabella II. When a coin had this mark, it meant it was legal tender in the Philippines. This process was Spain's way of controlling the currency and ensuring their power remained. Over time, the Spanish saw the need to establish their own coin factory or mint right here in the Philippines. In 1857, by order of Queen Isabella II, the Casa de Moneda de Manila was established. This was the first mint in Southeast Asia. It began producing gold coins in 1861 with denominations of 1, 2, and 4 pesos. These coins had the face of Queen Isabella II on one side. This was an important step because, for the first time, the coins used in the Philippines were made right here, showing the growing importance of the colony to the Spanish Empire. The establishment of the Casa de Moneda de Manila continued to produce other coins. In 1864, they began producing silver coins for smaller transactions, with denominations of 10, 20, and 50 centavos de peso. These designs featured the Spanish coat of arms. This period showed a transition from relying on foreign coins to having a local monetary system controlled by the colonial government. These coins, from the rough cobs to the smooth coins made in Manila, are pieces of history that tell the story of over 300 years of Spanish rule. As nationalist sentiments against the Spanish grew, the desire for freedom wasn't just shown on the battlefield, it was also shown through having our own money. During the Revolution, the revolutionaries under General Emilio Aguinaldo issued their own coins. This was a strong statement of sovereignty. In 1899, under the First Philippine Republic, the production of coins in the denomination of 2 centavos was ordered. These coins were made of copper and had a design showing a sun with a face, symbolizing the new birth of the nation and the words Republica Filipina. This design was very meaningful. On one side you can see a triangle with a sun in the middle, similar to the symbol on the Katipunan flag. On the other side, the coin's value and the year it was made are engraved. Although only a limited number of these coins were produced due to the ongoing war against the Americans, their existence was a brave declaration. It shows that Filipinos were capable of governing themselves, even in economic aspects. These coins were not just for payment, but symbols of the dream of a free nation. These coins of the First Republic are known as Paniki coins because they are believed to have been made in Paniki, Tarlac, where the Republic's capital was temporarily moved. Making coins in the middle of a war was not easy. There was a lack of materials and equipment, which is why the quality of the coins was not uniform. But their historical value is immeasurable. They were the first coins to bear the name Republica Filipina, a testament to the courage and determination of our heroes to establish an independent nation with its own identity. Unfortunately, the First Republic did not last long. With the arrival of the Americans, these coins gradually disappeared from circulation, but their legacy remains. These coins serve as a reminder that the fight for freedom has many forms. It is a reminder that even before we fully gained independence, there were Filipinos who dared to dream and make their own money a reality, an important symbol of being a true nation. These are the jewels of our numismatic history, pieces of metal that contain the blood and sweat of our ancestors. With the fall of the First Republic and the start of American occupation, the monetary system in the Philippines changed again. In 1903, the United States Congress passed the Philippine Coinage Act, which established a new currency system based on gold and silver. This was the beginning of the series of coins known as the Philippine American series. The coins were minted in American mints in Philadelphia and San Francisco, and later, in the Manila Mint, which reopened in 1920. The new coins had denominations of half a centavo, 1 centavo, 5 centavos, 10 centavos, 20 centavos, 50 centavos, and 1 peso. The design of these coins was a blend of Filipino and American culture. On one side you can see a standing woman holding a hammer next to an anvil, with Mayan volcano in the background. This is said to symbolize the industriousness of Filipinos. On the other side is the coat of arms of the United States, showing an eagle. The words on the coin are written in English, such as United States of America and Philippine Islands. This was a clear demonstration of the colonial status of the Philippines under America. A big change under the Americans was the reduction in the size and weight of silver coins in 1907. This was due to the rising price of silver in the global market. If this wasn't done, the silver content of the coin would be worth more than its face value as money. That's why coins minted from 1907 onwards were smaller than the earlier versions. Furthermore, with the establishment of the Commonwealth of the Philippines in 1935, the design changed again. The American coat of arms was replaced by the coat of arms of the Commonwealth of the Philippines, a symbol of impending independence. These coins became part of the daily lives of Filipinos for almost 4 decades. They were used for buying things in stores, paying wages, and saving for the future. These coins, with 2 languages and 2 symbols, reflect the complex relationship between the Philippines and the United States. It was a period of change, modernization, and preparation for independence. Each coin from this period is a small piece of history that tells the story of our journey as a nation under American influence. When World War II broke out and the Japanese occupied the Philippines in 1942, the normal flow of life, including the monetary system, suddenly stopped. The Manila Mint, which produced coins under the Commonwealth, was closed. The Japanese issued their own currency, known as Japanese invasion money. These were paper notes that had no gold or silver backing, so their value quickly plummeted. Because of this, Filipinos called it Mickey Mouse money, a derogatory name that showed a lack of trust in the invaders' currency. During this time, coins almost disappeared from circulation. Why? Because coins made of silver and other valuable metals were preferred by people to be hoarded. They knew that these coins had real value, unlike the Japanese paper money which, so to speak, could lose its worth at any time. Hoarding coins became a way of preserving wealth. They hid them in chests, buried them in the ground, or kept them in secret places, hoping they could use them again when the war ended. Coins became a symbol of hope for a better tomorrow. Due to the lack of coins for small transactions, there was a need for alternative payment. This is where guerrilla notes or paper money issued by local guerrilla movements and provincial governments loyal to the Commonwealth emerged. These served as temporary currency in areas not controlled by the Japanese. Although unofficial, people accepted them as a sign of resistance and hope. The absence of official coins during the Japanese period shows the severe economic devastation and the hardship Filipinos endured under the occupation. When the war ended in 1945, the Philippine economy was in ruins. The Mickey Mouse money completely lost its value. The hoarded coins slowly re-emerged and began to circulate. The experience during the Japanese period left an important lesson. The true value of money depends on the trust of the people and the stability of the government that issues it. The halt of coin production for several years was a dark chapter in our numismatic history, a reminder of the hardship and chaos brought by war. After World War II and the achievement of full independence on July 4, 1946, the new Republic of the Philippines faced the challenge of rebuilding. One of the first steps was to establish its own monetary system. From 1958 to 1967, the first series of coins of the independent Philippines was released. It was called the English series because all the words on the coin, such as Central Bank of the Philippines and its value, were written in English. This was a continuation of American influence even though we were already independent. The design of this series was simple but meaningful. On one side you can see the coat of arms of the Republic of the Philippines. On the other side is a woman sitting next to an anvil with Mayan volcano in the background, a design inherited from the American period. This is known as Lady Liberty, symbolizing freedom and industriousness. The coins had denominations of 1 centavo, 5 centavos, 10 centavos, 25 centavos, and 50 centavos. This series, if you think about it, became the foundation of modern Philippine currency. The materials used in this series also changed over time. The earlier coins were made of bronze, brass zinc, and nickel brass. But later, due to rising metal prices, some denominations were made from cheaper materials like copper-plated steel. These coins became part of the daily lives of a new generation of Filipinos who grew up in a free country. They were the coins used to buy candy at the store, pay jeepney fares, and save in piggy banks. The English series symbolizes a period of transition. While it shows our new freedom through the Republic's coat of arms, traces of the past remain in the design and language used. It is a reminder that building a national identity is a process that doesn't happen overnight. These coins, though simple, are important witnesses to the early years of our republic, a time of hope, rebuilding, and finding our own path on the world stage. In 1967, a historic change happened to our coins. The Central Bank of the Philippines launched the Filipino series. This was the first coin series to use the Filipino language, which later became Filipino. The words Central Bank of the Philippines were replaced with Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas, and values like 1 centavo became isang centimo. This was an important step in strengthening our national language and identity. Finally, our money was speaking in our own language. Aside from using the Filipino language, this series also introduced new designs featuring Filipino heroes. This was a departure from the symbolic designs of the past. For the first time, the faces of people who sacrificed their lives for the country were placed on our coins. You can see Lapu-Lapu on the 1 centavo, Melchora Aquino on the 5 centavos, Francisco Baltazar on the 10 centavos, Juan Luna on the 25 centavos, and Marcelo H. del Pilar on the 50 centavos. In 1972, a 1 peso coin featuring Jose Rizal was added. Placing heroes on our coins was not just a design change, it was a way of teaching history to every Filipino, young or old. With every transaction, with every touch of a coin, we remember their sacrifices. These coins became small history lessons in our pockets. It made our money more personal and more meaningful. This series became very popular and left a mark on the minds of many Filipinos, especially those who grew up in the 70s and 80s. The Filipino series lasted until 1974 and was followed by the Ang Bagong Lipunan series from 1975 to 1983, which kept the heroes but changed some designs and added the Ang Bagong Lipunan logo. Despite the changes, the spirit of the Filipino series remained, the use of our own language and honoring our heroes. This series was a successful step in building a national identity rooted in our own language, culture, and history. It proved that our money is not just for buying things, but a reflection of our Filipino identity. After the People Power Revolution in 1986, there was another change in our coins. From 1983 to 1994, the Flora and Fauna series was released. This was a departure from featuring only heroes. In this series, native Philippine plants and animals were included in the design. For example, the 5-centavo coin features the Vanda sanderiana plant, while the 10-centavo coin has the Pandaka pygmaea, the smallest fish in the world. The 2-peso coin has a tamaraw, and the 5-peso coin, which was new at the time, has the Pterocarpus indicus or Nara tree. The heroes remained on the other side of the coin. This series aimed to raise Filipinos' awareness about the importance of our nature. It is a reminder that the wealth of the Philippines is not only in its history but also in its biodiversity. These coins became a way to introduce to everyone, especially the youth, the unique plants and animals found only in the Philippines. This was also the time when the 5-peso coin with the face of Emilio Aguinaldo was introduced, and the controversial 10-peso coin in 1988 that featured two heroes, Andres Bonifacio and Apolinario Mabini. In 1995, the BSP coin series was introduced, which we used for over 2 decades. Here, the size of the coins was reduced, and the design was simplified. The 10-peso coin became bimetallic, with a copper-nickel center and a brass outer ring. This series became familiar to almost all Filipinos, but over time issues arose such as confusion due to similar sizes of some coins, which is why an update was needed again. And this is where we enter the present. In 2018, the Bangko Sentral Ang Pilipinas launched the New Generation Currency Coin Series. This latest series features new designs, improved security, and unique native Philippine plants on the back. The Kapa Kapa on the 10-peso coin, Tayabak on the 5-peso coin, Catmon on the 1-peso coin, Mancono on the 25-centavo coin, Halamang Baging on the 5-centavo coin, and Kapal Kapal Baging on the 1-centavo coin. The national heroes remain on the front. This series is a beautiful blend of honoring our history and valuing our nature. In our journey from the piloncitos to the new generation currency, it's clear that Philippine coins are more than just simple payments. Each piece is a small-time capsule, a tangible artifact that tells the story of our rich history. From the gold piloncitos of our ancestors, symbolizing a thriving civilization even before the colonizers arrived, to the rough cobs and counterstamped coins of the Spanish, reminding us of over 300 years of colonialism. Each coin carries a story from a particular period. Many coins have become rare and are now collected due to their historical value. For example, piloncitos are very valuable due to their age and material. The coins of the First Republic, like the Paniki coin, are highly sought after because of their connection to our fight for freedom. Even the silver pesos from the American period, especially those made before 1907, which are larger and heavier, are considered treasures by numismatists or coin collectors. Every scratch and discoloration on these old coins adds to their story and value. The changes in the design of our coins also reflect the evolution of our national identity. The shift from colonial symbols to featuring our heroes, language, and nature shows our continuous journey in building a nation with its own identity. Every decision to place Rizal's face, the image of the Philippine eagle, or the words Republica ng Pilipinas on a coin is a deliberate and meaningful step. It shows what we value as a nation at a particular stage of our history. So the next time you hold a coin, don't just see it as simple change, look at it closely. Remember that that small piece of metal carries the weight of history. It is a piece of art, an economic document, and a symbol of our Filipino identity. Coins are silent witnesses to our triumphs, failures, and continuous struggles. They connect us to our past and remind us of the long journey we have taken as a nation. Indeed, the history of the Philippines is etched, not just in books, but also in our coins.
Ready for a history adventure? Join our community. Subscribe to World History, smash that like, share with friends, and drop your thoughts below. Let's make history together. See you in the comments.